As the year changes, people expect things to return to the way they used to be. A year without any human interaction has been very stressful, so people begin going out again, hanging out in a cafe and meeting old friends. A year looking at the computer screen has been very tiring, so people start to go out to many places to see the almost forgotten view of mountains, as well as to breathe the long-desired smell of the sea. What's more interesting about this condition is the fact that we start to get used to it. At the beginning of the pandemic, the thought of having to wear a mask everywhere and anytime was very irritating. But now, without even noticing, we automatically wear a mask everywhere we go and wash our hands every time we touch something. Now, just very few people did this before the pandemic, right? But not only that, the situation of the world seems to get a little calmer. Because people's mobility was limited, the quality of air was getting better. Therefore, we could enjoy the fresh air in the morning without getting distracted by the noisy sound of the surrounding situation. However, things are the opposite for students. Because of this pandemic, students are not allowed to go to school. The only way to keep getting educated is through online learning, which for many people is very ineffective. We are demanded to be online 24/7, so a good internet connection is desperately needed. That's why some people spend a lot of money just to get a Wi-Fi subscription. But guys, today I'm not going to be talking about money or how much these people spent during the pandemic. Today, I'm going to be talking about something more crucial that these people left behind. It's the mental state that a student is going throughout the last couple of months. Well, these days, school feels more like a nightmare. Instead of being happy to absorb new knowledge, students are sick because of the never-ending assignment. Every day, there is new assignments appearing, and it's so much that they cannot take it anymore. Being at home doesn't mean that we get to stay in front of computers all day. Being at home means we also have to do other things, such as doing housework, or maybe greeting people and whatsoever. It's even worse because not all families are happy families. There are families who always fight. There are abusive parents, and there are parents with zero trust to their children. So, what happens then? Friends, this pandemic is not only about the spread of the coronavirus. Yes, we cannot deny that this virus is so deadly that it will kill anyone without exception. But we also need to realize that there is a more dangerous pandemic, which is called the shadow pandemic, that we just cannot even see. According to UN Women, this shadow pandemic is the condition where during the actual pandemic, there is a rise of violence towards women and children. What does this mean? This means by being at home, children are prone to the abuse done by their parents. It's such a big problem, right? But moreover, there is also an expectation coming from society that forces you to be able to get an A during your staying at home. Because people say that school from home is easier because you don't have to go anywhere. But actually, is that true? Another thing that students need to experience during the last couple of months is the growing anxiety within them. Because all communication is done through the internet, you have to be online 24/7. Every minute, there is someone texting you on your phone, asking you help, and etc. For example, there is suddenly a discussion on your WhatsApp group, and there is an announcement out of nowhere, or maybe your teacher is giving you assignments in the middle of the night. Because of these things, there is an anxiety that grows within you that forces you to think, what if I'm going to be left behind? What if I'm not a part of this discussion and people have a bad perception about me? These thoughts is very toxic, that it makes you feel guilty if you just want to leave your phone for a minute and actually have a rest and forget about everything. It makes you feel so drained, and it makes you worry if there is a notification coming up on your phone. Some research even found that during this pandemic, in many countries, there is a rising level of anxiety within students. So, can you imagine the burden that students need to go through during the pandemic? First, the toxic family. Second, this is the expectation coming from society. And now this, the anxiety about being left behind. But guys, if you experience any of that, please remember that you are worth more than what people tells you. The thing is, no one really knows what someone is going through. Just because someone's life seems to be all perfect doesn't mean that he or she can judge the way you live your life. Because deep down, everyone has a secret that they won't tell to anyone. So if people say to you that, oh, go on, it's easy to get a 4.0 GPA during this school from home thing. Well, first of all, you can just ignore them. You are under no obligation to prove to anyone that you're able to do something. The only person that you need to prove is yourself. So as long as you keep getting better every day, as long as you keep making progress every single day, your life is already meaningful. The second thing that you need to remember is that we're all in this together. This pandemic has forced every sector in the world to take a step back. People need to cancel their plans. They need to stop traveling. And worse, they need to stay at home as long as possible. So if you feel isolated or if you feel very lonely, remember that you are not alone. Out there, your friends also experience the same feeling as you. So if you miss a relative or maybe you miss your friends, you might as well just tell them. And moreover, you can always pour out your feelings to the person that you trust the most. Because things will get even more easier when someone actually listens to you. If the situation is unpredictable in your house, then you can always find a sanctuary within the warm embrace of your friends. Lastly, remember that it's okay to take a break. Just because school is anywhere and anytime, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve a break. Sometimes you just have to leave your phones for 5 minutes and actually have a nap and forget about everything. If you're worried that someone might contact you during that, you can always communicate with your trusted friend that you're not feeling well and you need to take a rest. Because after all, in order to do well in school, you need to have a good condition in your body and also your mind. Well, to close my speech, I have a quote from Steve Maraboli. It said, "It's up to you today to start making healthy choices. Not only choices that are healthy for your body, but also choices that are healthy for your mind." I'm Indah Herliani, and thank you for listening to my speech.